So today we're going to be taking a look at two iconic and still current American shoe companies, Alden and Allen Edmonds, and their most popular boot offerings, the Allen Edmonds Higgins Mill and the Alden 403 Indy boot. Now, as most of you know, the 405/403 got the nickname the Indy boot because the 405 version, which is the calfskin version, was the boot worn by Harrison Ford when he was playing Professor Henry Indiana Jones in the Indiana Jones movies. So in theory, we should be looking at the calfskin 405s, but since we're doing a comparison video with the Allen Edmonds Higgins Mill, we'll be using the 403s in the Chrome XL, so we're looking at the same leather for both boots. The reason I specifically chose these two boots to compare is because Alden and Allen Edmonds are two heritage quality brands that are at least 100 years old and still make handmade, high quality Goodyear welted boots. Now, there are brands like Florsheim and Johnson & Murphy that are still around, but they don't make quality footwear anymore. Okay, so full disclosure, I don't actually own a pair of Alden Indys. I do have a friend who was kind enough to let me borrow his pair of 403s for the sake of visual comparison. Though they are far too large for me to wear and model for you guys like I typically do, I can't go into too much detail about comfort. However, I have tried on a pair of the Alden 403s at a local shop, but they didn't come close to fitting me correctly in the D width, and it looks as if I'm not going to be able to get the size that might fit me correctly in the 403s. The 403s have a size range of 6 to 13 in the E and D width, which are far too large for me. But in the C width, which might fit, they only have a size range of 8 to 13, and I'm a men's size 7. In the 405s, however, which is the calfskin version, they have a size range of 7 to 13 in the C width, but I haven't had an opportunity to try them on yet. Nobody seems to carry a C width and a size 7 in the back of the store, so I'd have to order them, and I don't want to order them without knowing how they fit. The 403s are one of these boots that are kind of hard to find the right fit. I've seen plenty of Indys on eBay of people who have worn them, they haven't fit correctly, and it was too late to return them. That's a $600 mistake that I don't want to make. So both of the boots I have here today are crafted with Horween Chrome XL leather. Now, the version of the Higgins Mill that I own are actually a pickled Chrome XL leather, which makes the boot basically weatherproof. They also have Allen Edmonds' signature XL extra light lug sole, which makes the boot a lot lighter than if it were a day-night sole. Now, the Indys have a neo-cork sole, which is a combination of cork and neoprene. And I gotta say, it's a pretty cool sole. Stylistically, it has a similar appeal that a leather sole might have, but it offers a bit more traction and durability than a traditional leather sole. The first big difference that I noticed were that the Indys were distinctly heavier than the Higgins Mill with the XL extra light sole. The Indys weigh 0.7 pounds more per boot than this version of the Allen Edmonds Higgins Mill. And yes, I understand that the 403s I have are meant for a men's size 9, where the Higgins Mill are meant for my men's size 7 foot. But even taking that into consideration, the difference is quite startling. I remember noticing how heavy the Indys were the one time I tried them on in the store as well. You'll definitely feel the difference, though probably not as much as if the Higgins Mill had the day-night sole. The second distinct difference is the price. The Higgins Mill retail for $445, and the Alden Indys are currently selling for $607. That's a substantial difference. To make matters worse, right now as of filming, the Higgins Mill are on sale again for $279, which is about what I paid for mine last year. Personally, I've never seen the Aldens go on sale. $607 versus $279 for boots that are made of the same Horween Chrome XL, I can't help it, that just seems like a lot to overcome. Now, both of these boots fall into that casual, everyday kind of boot category that a lot of us are shopping in these days. Most people don't wear slacks every day, so they're not necessarily in the market for a pair of dress boots. Most people are looking for something that they can wear jeans, chinos, or khakis. And both the Aldens and the Higgins Mill fall into that category. At first glance, both boots seem to have very similar silhouettes, but upon closer examination, you will see that the Indys are actually a bit larger and thicker than the Higgins Mill. First of all, the Aldens are on a True Balance combination last, which was meant to be orthopedic, but basically what that means is the heel is going to be a bit snugger where the toe box is more roomy. Then of course, there's the thickness. Now, when I measured the Aldens, they were 3.8 millimeters thick, where the Higgins Mill was 3.1. Now, both boots feature a glove leather interior, and I'm assuming that it's the same thickness on both pairs, but taking that into consideration, that's still a substantial difference between the two. Another weird thing about the sizing and fit of these boots is the leather uppers are actually a lot larger than the Higgins Mill. Look, my friend doesn't have tiny little girl ankles like I do, but when he's lacing up these boots, if he were to pull the laces as tight as he possibly could in order to get a nice snug fit around his ankles, the leather's almost touching. I don't know if that part of the design was supposed to be intentional, but I just think it's weird. At first glance, it looks like Alden offers a fair range of sizes and widths in the 403s. And if you are willing to get the 405 calfskin version, they have an even broader selection. A couple of you have mentioned to me how awesome and comfortable Aldens are, but at least with the 403s, I don't get it. Now, obviously, I'm not going to take one shoe offering from a brand and think it's emblematic of everything they have to offer. But between the leather uppers being larger than any other pair of boots in my collection, and also this weird combination last, I couldn't find the right fit and I don't find them particularly comfortable. Now one can make the argument that this isn't exactly an apples to apples comparison. This isn't the Higgins Mill in the brown Chrome XL leather with the day-night sole. It's the Higgins Mill in the pickled burgundy leather with the XL extra light sole. But that's kind of the point. I can get the Allen Edmonds Higgins Mill, which is Allen Edmonds' most iconic boot, in a variety of different colors and leathers, including suede and weatherproof suede. I can get it with the extra light sole, a rubber lug sole, or even a day-night sole. And they're also available in 4 different colors of shell cordovan for only $118 more than the 403 calfskins. The 403 is the 403. You can get the 405 in the calfskin, or you can get the 401 in something they call black work boot leather, all with the same neo-cork sole. But that's it. Those are your options, and good luck finding them on sale. Allen Edmonds are often on sale, and sometimes you're getting the Higgins Mill for less than half of what you pay for the 403s. When I look at these boots, I can't see a big difference in quality. I'm not really seeing any noticeable difference at all. I know that Allen Edmonds has a reputation for having some trouble with quality control, but personally, I've never seen any of those issues with in-store items. And I don't tend to order from the online stores because I like to try things on before I buy them. Look, I like the Indys. I think they're pretty cool, and I love the look of the mock toe, even though I don't really get the whole idea of a mock toe. But the Indys are expensive, difficult to access and try on, pretty much never on sale, and their website is such a disaster the government should send in FEMA. Honestly, if Harrison Ford hadn't opted or really insisted on wearing them in a big movie franchise, there's a good chance I would have never even heard of the Indys. When I bought a firearm, I didn't buy a Walther PPK because James Bond used it. I bought a Sig Sauer P365 9mm because it fit in my hand well. For me, maybe not necessarily for you, I prefer the fit and feel of the Higgins Mill over the 403s. And my friend, who shall remain nameless, who owns the 403s, also owns a pair of the Higgins Mill, and he prefers the fit and feel of Allen Edmonds as well. When you throw in the major price differential, it's really not even close. The Higgins Mill is the clear winner here, but if you prefer the Indys, I understand why. The heart wants what the heart wants.